paradise because you live in Australia and everybody wants to go there and visit this amazing place. Can you tell me about advantages and disadvantages of this paradise?
So I have been living in Australia for 11 years, and there is a lot of advantages, but there are as well disadvantages. I would say the weather, absolutely amazing for the whole year. We are getting into winter right now, and it's about to right now during the day 25 degrees, during the night 15. So it's absolutely perfect weather. During the summer, it gets really hot, up to 40 degrees, and very humid, very humid. And obviously the weather, the ocean is absolutely amazing. People are very friendly as well. Sorry for any interruptions. Um, and I would say the social help from the government is really absolutely really good when it comes with, especially with this current situation with the COVID-19. All the people are actually really looked after, and we get a lot of support from the government, even for people who got stood down or just got fired. We actually got double social money, so it actually helps a lot. Although disadvantages, I would say Australians are not very open for foreigners. It's a bit, yes, it gets there to the point that sometimes when they can hear your accent, there are some people that they are very curious where you're from and they actually ask you questions, but there are some people that they can, like, as soon as they can hear your accent, they're like, oh, so you came here to steal our jobs, which is
Oh.
unfair, which is very unfair. But mostly I have very good experience with people.
Okay. Do you have any cultural barriers which you have to overcome?
Yes, a lot, because Australia is a very young country. It's like over 200 years old country, and what happened was the first people who actually start living here, they were all British people who came here, and there were mostly jails here. And of course they had aboriginals, they're original, like original people who used to live here, but obviously the British emporium just came here and they started building houses, so they had to sort of move our aboriginal people aside. So there is a little bit of conflict with that, but the government also looked after them really well. So obviously it's a very young country. They don't really have many traditions, but they do have, for example, Australia Day, which is a great day where everybody wears tongs, drinks beers, have a barbecue. They call
Oh no.
it Barbie, and they have a lot of really cool public holidays as well as we have in Poland. They're not very religious because they just don't have that sort of culture, and even the religion subject in Poland is elective. In Poland, what am I talking about? Sorry, in Australia. Sorry, in Australia, it's an elective subject even for children starting as young as 5 years old.
Okay, you have wonderful kids. I saw a lot of pictures and films you posted on Facebook, and I'm in love. Would you like them to live in Poland one day?
I would, and they actually ask me if they can come and live in Poland. I just believe personally that the educational system is a lot better in Poland than in Australia. The universities, unfortunately, you have to pay here to study, where in Poland you can actually, attend a really good free university and have a beautiful bachelor degree or master's degree very quickly. That's the only another con I would say about Australian people. They finish school at age 15, 16, and there is very rare when they actually go to the university. They will finish TAFE, which is like postgraduate courses, such as, being an engineer or hairdresser or beautician, which I even done myself. I've done diploma of beauty therapy,
No,
but
done. You're very
university.
beautiful.
Yes, I can do my nails.
Nice.
But universities are very expensive, and not everybody can afford them. And that's I wish it was this a little bit more accessible for the young people, because that's why they start working very young at age 16 in McDonald's, or just, or doing some tradies and stuff like that, which is not bad because you learn the practical side of it. But it's good to have like that education. I remember like in Poland, you have to have matura and you have to go and get at least a bachelor degree. This is what I encourage my children as well to do. That's why I would love them to go and study there and learn the Polish educational system. Unfortunately, they don't want to speak Polish.
They don't want to, but do they?
They know some basics, but because their father is Australian, it was very hard for them to learn from me.
Okay, yeah, of course, because they go to
around
school
the household.
That's normal. Okay, and what about you? Would you like to come back to Poland when you are retired, for example?
Oh yes, have lots of money and buy a beautiful cottage at the Masurian Lakes. Of course I will. I would love to go back to Poland. But obviously for obvious reason I am not allowed to at the moment, but it is on my mind, definitely. It is. I miss snow. I miss white Christmas. I can't stand my Christmas tree sweating and melting because it's plastic, because it's 40 degrees, and it doesn't feel like Christmas, because it's all you want to do is just to go to the beach and have a picnic, pretty much. So it's not thought of, and there's no traditions. They don't have Christmas Eve. They have Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And what it's even more funny, Boxing Day is actually shopping day. So all the shops will be open. And I worked in retail in Zara, and Boxing Day is the most important. It's the most time we make the most money. And we open from 7 a.m. until like 9 p.m. and it's just line after line, people after people. And I don't like that. I feel like Christmas should be more family orientated and time. And that's why, and it's so funny because I can never take that off. They will never allow you to have Boxing Day off. So I was always like, oh, I just want to be with my kids. Yeah. So there are like pros and cons of everything, I guess.
Of course. So we are lucky because we have a lot of days off during Christmas time here.
Oh my gosh, yes, because even first the Christmas Day and then the Boxing Day in Poland is still a public holiday, so it's your time to still be with your family. Same with Easter. They only have Good Friday is the only day that everything is closed. But then you work Saturday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, Easter Tuesday, and it's so-called blockout period. You cannot take any days off.
Okay, you mentioned the time spent with your family too. How often do you see your family members?
Unfortunately, I was in Poland 7 years ago last time with my little boy, but my parents try to come up every 2 years, and they both were here. My father actually came here last year, and my mom came 2 years ago, because to be honest, it's so much easier to buy one ticket than 3 tickets for me.
Of course, that's obvious. Okay, at the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned the government support because of the COVID, of course, 19. What is the situation like in Australia now?
So at the moment, we actually, from this Friday, they eased restrictions, and we are allowed to have up to 10 people at home, and we are allowed to use playgrounds for the kids. That's what we did this morning, just to get some fresh air and finally play. Oh my gosh, so many people. The restaurants are reopening, allowing only 10 people at a time, and all schools are reopening next week.
Okay, perfect. So lucky you are going to send your school and relax with the cup of coffee.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait
But
too.
it's funny because they are actually, because in Australia they actually have school holidays every 10 weeks.
Oh, okay.
For 2. So actually they have a lot of school holidays, because their year starts in January, at the end of January, and finishes on the beginning of December, and then they get 6 weeks of like a long summer holiday, similar like in Poland in June, end of June, but we for 8 weeks isn't. And in Australia they get 6 weeks, but then every term, which lasts for 10 weeks, they get 2 weeks. So they have a lot. you have to book a lot of annual leave.
Nice.
So they're actually coming back next week only for 4 weeks to have their winter school holidays for 2 weeks again. No rest.
Kasia, you are studying English language in Poland, and you wanted to be a teacher. Can you be a teacher of English in Australia?
I probably could, but because it's been 11 years, I would have to probably send off my degree to Teacher Association and
Yeah.
see if they can translate some of my subjects into the Australian educational system. But I believe I will have to still attend some university lessons as well. So it's not like you can straight and get into it because the system is totally different.
Oh,
But I
okay.
applied recently for a course to do teaching aid, which is a help, which is
Yeah.
not teaching itself, but it's just being in the classrooms and help with children to do their tasks or to supervise them over the breaks and everything like that. So I'm gonna do that online, and I'm actually looking forward to it because
Perfect.
they have set schools set out hours at school. They go 9 to 3 every day. That's it.
Okay. Perfect.
All the schools. High school will finish a little bit earlier, so they will do 9 to 2:30.
Great.
I
So I
know.
go to Australia just to be a teacher there.
I know, because it's actually such a great feeling, because I remember when I was in primary school in Poland and I was finishing at 6 p.m., I was finishing at 5 p.m., and I feel like it's a lot easier to actually organize your life around those sort of hours, you know what I mean? Like, it's 9 to 5. So then you can book, for example, when I was working full time in Zara, I organized like aftercare. So they stayed in let's say it's called Świetlica, and they were staying there until 6 p.m. until I can pick them up.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for this conversation. It was really nice to see you and talk to you, and I hope that we talk next time a bit longer.